mean, who is ready to get what it is that you want? I know a lot of you out there are trying hard as heck, and it doesn't matter if you want to be a better mother, a better wife, if you want to start a business endeavor, if you want to start a ministry, whatever it is you want to accomplish. Are you in that phase where it just seems like nothing is working? Okay, you feel like no matter what, life is dealing you a bad deck. You take one step forward in the classic, you get knocked 2 to 10 steps back. Okay, I want you to think about what I want to teach you today so that you can truly understand which phase of this success process that you're in. See, what I realize is that there are phases that we go through, and it affects the way that we think. And I want to use a story. Okay, I always use stories, but this time I'm going to flip it. I'm going to switch it a little bit. I want to actually use a biblical story to paint a picture to show you all just how close you are to getting the gold and what's happening in your mind that's making or breaking whether or not you get what it is that you want. Now, a lot of us have heard the story about the Israelites, right? You know, they were supposed to go to the promised land, but when they had an opportunity to go seize the land, they were like, oh, no, we're not going in because there are giants in the land, and they were fearful. And so what ended up happening is that the same people that God ended up delivering from out of slavery ended up going round and round and round the wilderness until they died. Now their descendants, their offspring, were given the same option to obtain the same things, and they decided not to take the steps that their forefathers took. Now, let's look at what that reveals about us, okay? Number one, it has to do with having a cursed mentality. Now, I don't know what phase you are in on the success walk, but if you have a mentality that says, I was cursed from the start, you may get through steps 1 through 3 this time before you fall back, and next time 1 through 7 before you fall back, and next time steps 1 through 10 before you fall back. But if the goal is 10, you know, if it's 15 steps away, if you have a mentality that believes that you were cursed from the beginning, you'll never make it to 15 because your mindset will always knock you back. Now, I don't know what your story is, but I do believe that everyone's story gives them power, and it actually validates their strength, regardless of how horrible that story may have been. But think about this. How would it look to you if you spent your entire life just wandering, never really living, never really having anything, and looking at your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, everybody having the same track record of not succeeding, of not achieving anything, but then here you go with the audacity to have goals and have a vision and to want something more for your life. But then when you look at where you came from, it seems like it's impossible. Are you that person? Are you the person who's dreaming and you're fighting a war within because you want more, but it's very difficult for you to perceive the reality that you can have more because of where you came from? Guess what? Where you came from does not have the right to dictate what your future outcome will be. Okay? So let's think about it. With these Israelites, they understood what I just said. Regardless of what happened with their parents, and some of them, like Joshua, even saw it, and they were trying to tell their parents, we can do this. When their parents died off, they took that energy within them and they said, you know what? We can do this. And so this whole tribe of people united, and they said, we got to make a decision. Okay, so after you get past the mindset of feeling cursed, you've got to make a decision to pursue your goals. So here's the thing. Are you stuck in decision land? Because just the idea of saying, oh yeah, you know, I got this brilliant idea for whatever, if you sleep on it, years down the line, months down the line, you may see someone else had a similar idea and they might beat you to the punch. Or you will lose out on a certain level of quality of life because you keep on thinking about what it is that you're capable of doing. See, decisions without a step, I have an acronym for it. Idea, it means I didn't execute action. Okay? So after the Israelites thought about it, and they said, yeah, we deserve the promised land. We deserve to live the life of our dreams. They took steps and they began to walk to that place. And for those of us that know the story, where they walked to was Jericho. Now, when they walked to Jericho and when they got there, they had to get into this phase of meditation and prayer and seeking God for battle strategies. Some of you all may be in this phase of success where you've gotten past the mindset of whether or not you can or you can't. You've made a decision and you've actually started taking some steps forward. And now you have to seek that inner guidance systems, that higher power, God, the universe, whatever it is you put your name on it. You're seeking direction. But how many of you are stuck in the I'm just listening to and I'm waiting for the right moment of opportunity? They spent 6 days going round and round the wall of Jericho. There was this big old massive wall that was blocking them from getting the gold. Okay? Now, if they would have stayed in that process where all they did was go around, because this was the instructions that God gave them, go around, go around, go around. Be quiet, go around. Yes, sometimes when you are pressing and pursuing your dream, you have these moments or phases when you got to kind of just take the same steps. You don't try to perfect them, because success doesn't like perfection. It likes preparation, but you keep going and you keep going. Okay, well then they had to graduate to the next level. And that was gratitude. How many of us know that an attitude of gratitude is what allows us to attract the right people, the right opportunities, circumstances, the positive things that we need to come to us so that we can experience success? Okay, but that right there I have found is once again something else that keeps people from going all the way to the top. You can't praise God enough to get what it is that you want. You can't be grateful enough to get what you want, because after all of that, you have to realize the success is a continuous cycle, and there's a step that's going to have to come after that. But before I reveal the step, think about it. Are you one of those people where you're sitting and you're thinking and you've meditated, and then all of a sudden you say, let me thank God. Let me thank the universe. I'm so happy for my inner strength, etc., etc. But that's where you are. I'm sorry. There isn't enough praising and happiness in the world to make $1 million fall into your lap. There isn't enough praising or happiness in the world to allow the man of your dreams or woman of your dreams to fall in your lap. And before any of you say, August, this is such thing as miracles, and I was in such a destitute state in my life, and the man of my dreams came to me, or the opportunity of my dreams came to me, hold up, because you know I'm the type of person that'll take it to the next step. Because here's the thing. Opportunity comes to all of us all the time. But I love to quote Dennis Kimbrough. And he often says opportunity is to a man what he has done to prepare for it. So how many of you have had those opportunities come to you and you didn't even know it? Because you were too busy in the hype of when the praises go up, the blessings come down, or believing that an attitude of gratitude was going to be, because you have such a magnetic personality that everything was just going to work out for you. This is like one of the last most critical parts of success that a lot of people get stuck in. And when things don't go the way you want them to go, which we kind of talked about on Monday, what do you want? Why do you want it? And why would you let anything stop you from getting it, even yourself? This is that last step that makes it or breaks it. Because I don't care how joyful you are, how proud you are, how grateful you are, how much you've prepared, the decisions you made, the steps you took, life happens. There is nothing that we can do to stop life from occurring. So you know what the last step was for the Israelites to literally get the gold? They had to fight. How many of you aren't fighting? Because you've had this attitude, y'all know how I am. I just have to keep it extremely blunt, because you've been having an attitude of gratitude, and because your faith is so strong and your purpose is so grand, you're arrogant. You're arrogant enough to believe that success should just fall into your lap and that there is nothing that you were supposed to do to fight for it. See, after they went around those walls and they went 7 times on that 7th day and they started praising God and having an attitude of gratitude, that wall that was before them, which is often a symbolism of fear for us, something will happen sometimes, to a miraculous thing. It will break down that wall, that one thing that you needed to co-sign that you were going down the right direction. And once the wall falls down, if you stand there with your arrogance, there are soldiers on the other side of the wall that are coming with their spears, their guns, their knives, their negativity, their false hopes, their disbelief, their criticisms, to knock you off your game and to tell you what you can't do, what you can't have. And if you stand there with a sense of entitlement, you will be obliterated and you will be knocked down. And then you will have to be resilient yet once again. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to go through that whole cycle all over again, because you're going to feel cursed. And you'll have to find a new goal and make new decisions and take new steps and seek more answers and redevelop your spirit of attitude, only to realize that until you learn to fight, you will keep on going through that cycle over and over again. One of my friends on Facebook put a post up that says, if you're tired of not winning, stop quitting. You got to fight, people. After that wall came down, it was already because it was birthed in them all the way since before they were even born, that they were supposed to live in the land of milk and honey. They still had to fight, and they had to go get it. So if I could end this week's set of advice series with anything, it would be to remind you to fight. No, you aren't cursed. I know it may seem like you came from that, but we all can and should defy the odds. You can be whatever it is that you want to be, but you may have to make a decision to get parenting classes, to join a dating counseling group, a relationship coach. You may need to actually take steps towards, grooming and growing. I don't know, but deep in your heart, you know. Because these opportunities have come your way and you fell back. Don't sit. Don't be complacent. Don't wait for life to happen to you. We take life and we seize it and we conquer it and we create our destinies regardless of where they began.